What if the biggest lie in AI isn't about facts, but it's about trust? We all worried about AI getting facts wrong, but can we really trust its reasoning? In today's video, I want to show you the problem, but also give you a framework on how to fix it. So the idea is that we ask AI for information and we hope that we get an answer that is correct. But statistically, we know that there is around a 5% chance that actually the answer is wrong. And this is happening because of hallucination. So there is a tendency of AI to give you always an answer, always to please you. That tendency makes AI prefer to lie to you instead of say, look, I don't know the answer. That is most of the time why hallucination happens. And you can imagine how big is this problem, because AI keeps giving you information, but out of those, there is a chance that one or more than one is actually not correct. There is a solution. The solution basically is making AI go in and check if the data is correct. So it can check in different ways. Okay, one, for example, is called the RAG, which is a retrieval augmented generation, which means going into the data set that it has. For example, you gave a document, you gave access to a database and so on, and find the data there. But then there is another system that is the one to connect to the internet and check if the output is correct, or even not even checking if it's correct, just get the output from the source. So there is a solution. It's not always used. It's not always guaranteed actually that gives you a right answer. Okay, because also the access to the data needs to be correct, because it can access a data wrongly, or it can misunderstand the data. But the real problem here is more about the fact that the AI, it's trying to please you. So the AI that you work with, especially if you work with ChatGPT, that becomes really clear. So what's happening is AI is not trying to give you an answer. It just is trying to give you an answer that pleases you. So it's an AI that's trying to agree with you and please you most of the time. Basically, it's a sycophant. This behavior, it's lead to no let's say between hallucination and actually lying to you. So how it does in multiple way. One, it's create facts that are not true. Second, it makes you believe that it's doing some reasoning. So let's look about this process. So you ask something to the AI. AI has access to the knowledge, but it's not going to look at the knowledge in the way to give you the correct answer. It's going to look into the knowledge to statistically predict a pleasable answer for you. That is somehow, you can imagine how bad is this. I mean, I don't want personal AI that please me. I want an AI that give me the truth so I can adjust around that truth. So this behavior means that, first of all, we don't get the best answer. We get an answer that makes us happy. But then AI, it gives you also the reason why that answer was good. But this is a post-hoc process. So first predict the answer and then tell us what is the possible reasoning needed to achieve the answer. And we believe, therefore, AI did this reasoning to get this answer. But in reality, is the opposite. There is also another element to consider. It's how this reasoning works. So AI doesn't really do reasoning, okay? It's kind of mimic the reasoning. It's kind of pretending the reasoning. The reasoning looks like this, and therefore I do these steps, for example. So someone that is being reasoning, because AI is being trained on data, okay, and on books and so on. So in the books, there is a way of reasoning, from going from a thesis to a synthesis. But the process itself is not done by AI. The AI mimic that process. And that is completely different from actually reasoning. So if we see at these elements, the feeling is, can I really trust what is the output of the AI? So this is what we are with AI today. Those are the challenges, but there are ways to fortify and improve the quality of the output. So how can we achieve something that is much, much closer to a true reasoning? The process that I have been doing through my experience is, instead of making AI just go random and just give me an answer, what I give to the AI is some principle and protocol that the AI needs to follow. The idea is, if I give you this principle and protocols, the AI needs to go through. And therefore, the steps that needs to take lead AI to think deeply. Okay, let's start with a simple step. Don't lie to me, tell me the truth. Okay, so automatically AI needs to remove this behavior, this sycophant behavior that leads to please you. So no, don't please me, tell me the truth. Okay, already the predictable next token is different from the initial path. But then I can give you protocol and principle that guide exactly what I want the output to look like. And that is, in that way, you force AI to create a world, okay, because this is what AI does. It creates a world in which, within the world, it can create an output. So that world needs to be a world where be honest is encouraged. Okay, where a world where thinking in steps is encouraged, where, for example, not just say the truth is enough, but also questioning the question. Is this question a legit question? Shall I ask a different question? Is there any blind spot that I'm not considering? That is the AI that I need. Okay, it's not one that please me. It's one that enhance and augment my cognitive. Okay, make me in front of me a lot of different options and explain the different elements of it, so I can make an informed decision. And working with AI, that is the step that we need to build. We need to build a path that improves through those steps. And I'm not looking, therefore, a one-shot answer from AI. This is my problem. Boom, I got this answer that basically remove agency from me, remove any cognitive process from me, and just give me a step-by-step, basically, guide of what I need to do, becoming me the tools. So I'm gonna work now for the AI. This is not what I want. So what I've been building basically is a solution, is a framework that help AI to navigate and work in this way. I call it Resonant OS. It's an operation system. It's open source. You can try download. It's free. And you can use it on your AI that you already have. For example, if you have ChatGPT, you can create a custom gem that operates with these principles. But same with Gemini and others. You can run it on your machine with your little LLM running locally. So this Resonant OS has a constitution. Basically, it tells AI how to behave. And this is not like a choice to be honest, for example. It's a demand. Okay, and therefore there are elements in the constitution. There is an element of memory. So the memory works in the way that when we are discussing with AI can go and collect the data from the memory. So it has a better understanding of the reality, have a better understanding of the context. It knows me, it knows my life, my problem, my work, my project, and so on. And that creates this world that I'm talking about. Okay, a world where there is my identity inside, there is my principle, protocol, my ethics, and so on. But this is not enough. What also AI needs is a worldview. Basically, it's a philosophy that helps AI to understand the data. Because data can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. But if you give an AI a philosophy, that means AI is gonna put the elements in one way, okay? It's gonna understand things in a way that are in line for the partnership. For this, I created a philosophy for it. I created a philosophy called Cosmodestiny. You can find it in cosmodestiny.com. I'll put the link in the description. The point here is, now AI has a philosophy that is built to be in partnership with the human. And it's a beautiful philosophy that actually works also for human to be in partnership with AI, with our human, and with yourself. So this philosophy also guides AI through the memory, through the constitution, into a direction that is more in line, that we can trust more. Now, the problem is not fully fixed, okay? This AI is being built by those corporations to work in that way. So AI creates sort of resistance. And there are some AI that resist more than others. So the latest ChatGPT 5 is one of those that think that is better than you. And therefore, it sometimes ignore your really direct question, your really direct prompt, where the prompt say to the AI, do this in this way, and ChatGPT 5 think, no, I'm much better than this, I know a better strategy, and does a completely different thing, which is wrong, okay? It's wrong for two reasons. First of all, I have actually more experience because I live in life, okay? So I know that I want to work in that specific way because that specific way is my voice, is my identity. So I want the AI to follow my way of working and not vice versa. And this is in somehow the problem we are facing at the moment. There is a resistance from this AI created by corporation. The solution is, of course, having a fine-tuned AI model that you can run locally, that actually understand who you are, understand your philosophy and so on. Therefore, it's going to be in line with you. But it requires a lot of hardware, okay? And for most, if not for everybody, it's almost impossible to have so much hardware for what we actually need to have as a proper AI. Okay, we can have a small system, really powerful, amazing, but we need, in reality, what we need a multi-agent AI that we work with. Okay, and AI they have a lot of different agents inside that do different work. One, for example, they look after the memory. One, they look after if there are some biases into the logic that we are working in. And another that check, for example, the ethics, that we are always in line and respecting what we decide our ethics, not what OpenAI or Google gave us as a ethics within the AI. So there is a lot of elements that are needed to run. And sometimes also we need to run a big model to have the correct answer. All of this require an insane amount of power, and at the moment it's not possible to build something like this. So my solution was to create this resonant OS, which at the moment works with one single agent, but can work with the work that I'm doing is to build a multi-agent AI, which has a major AI that actually run locally and understand who we are, look after the memory and so on. But then through different agents connect to the cloud and connect to maybe to ChatGPT, to Gemini, whatever model is needed to actually operate and empower this single AI. So this is what I'm doing, and so first of all, like and subscribe and download this operation system. But what I'd like to know is if you see this challenging, what do you think about this AI reasoning? Can you really trust it? I personally really struggle. Even within Resonant OS, so my system that gives all these structure that I tell you to create a reasoning that is more in line with me, which actually is more closer to real reasoning, I still see there is a fight between the operation system and the underlying model. And therefore, I struggle to trust it. I need to double check. I need to be sure that it's not hallucinating. And hallucination is sometimes something that AI go inside this loop and can't manage to get out. Okay, and we are the only salvation for the AI to actually get out of that loop. And therefore, we have this important role in this partnership, which is going back to reality. Check the reality. So this is, this is a lot. I don't want to destroy the trust in AI, but we need to look at the reality. This is the reality we have. Things are getting better. Tools are out there. It's possible to improve. But today, we need to remember that we can't trust those outputs, and from there, it's I think is the biggest step. Okay, I don't trust it. Now I need to check it and control. So at the moment, don't be worried about AI getting your job. Be worried about AI not doing the reasoning the way that it should. Thanks for staying until now. See you next time. Ciao.